Okay, this is a redo of my 2NR in our first round against puyallup, which was, I think, the worst round I've ever debated. So, this is assuming that we actually read topicality, fiscal cliff, and cards against solvency. So, order is going to be topicality, fiscal cliff, econ, solvency, and an impact calc. Starting with topicality, we have repeatedly failed to meet our standards. Infrastructure we define as fixed permanent structures. However, NextGen is mainly composed of communications technology like GPS, which is installed in the airplanes. And so this is definitely not topical. It's not fixed, nor is it permanent, nor is it an actual structure. It's software. So this explodes in a research burden because the AF could have run anything from car security technology to airport management software, and this shouldn't be allowed simply because it is far outside our specified limits, and our opponents have repeatedly failed to meet the standard. Okay, moving on to fiscal cliff. The fiscal cliff is coming. In a matter of weeks, we're going to be pushed over, and cuts will be made across the board. NextGen does nothing to help this. Instead, it takes away the little leverage that Obama currently has and needs in order to pass the plan that will take us off the fiscal cliff. That plan includes cuts placed to various services, but none of which will actually cause a long-term collapse, whereas we extend a Marisi card saying that the economy is going to tank and go into something of a second Great Depression if we do if we don't resolve the fiscal cliff issue. And since Obama currently has barely enough leverage, doing anything as large as passing NextGen, a whole new brand of communications technology, is going to take away from that, and it's going to push us over the fiscal cliff. Moving on to economy, our opponents say that they're going to resolve the economy with a stimulus that NextGen has created. They say that the airplane industry currently needs to be boosted out of its downturn. However, we've already proved that the airplane industry is not key to our national or global economy, and also simply that because NextGen, as our opponents have already conceded, will take years and years to implement. It will take at least decades in order to get it on airplanes so we can start enjoying whatever benefits it's supposed to confer. We're not going to be able to access whatever advantages our opponents say there will be for at least the next couple decades. And so with the fiscal cliff coming so soon, in mere weeks, we're not going to be able to overpower the massive economic changes this is going to cause. And so in the end, NextGen actually does nothing to solve the issues to solve economic issues that we're currently facing. And so because it doesn't solve it doesn't actually confer any benefits, and because it's actually so far outside of current topicality, we should just reject the plan altogether, since it does nothing more than suck money, attention, and leverage away from the US government. Okay, lastly, impact calc. Our opponents say that the economy is currently in a downturn and that we need NextGen to get it back on track. However, as we've proved using as we've proved against their solvency and econ, this is going to take years to implement. So any benefits actually conferred by the airline industry onto the national economy isn't going to happen for decades, whereas our fiscal cliff is much more timely. It's going to happen only in a matter of weeks, by January 1st, when the deadline is. And if Obama can't pass this plan before then, we're going to have cuts across the board. And we've proved that the airline industry is not actually key to the national industry. So even if So the fiscal cliff is going to be much larger in terms of magnitude, because cuts across the board means everyone is affected negatively regardless of standing. There are cuts taken out of all programs, and in terms of probability, we've already proved that their warming impact is vague and has really no basis in science and isn't going to happen for at least another century or so, whereas the fiscal cliff is coming on in a matter of weeks, less than a month. It's something that we need to focus on right now, and it's definitely something that we can't disturb by passing this plan, implementing NextGen, and taking away Obama's leverage. So it's clear that it's clear that right now is, of course, not the time to pass next gen, especially something as poorly planned as this is. It's not going to confer any significant advantage, nor will it actually help us. It's not going to confer any significant advantage, and it's simply going to distract the government and cost a lot of our capital, which is why we should reject this plan and vote neg.